Joining us now, two lawyers who have been inside that courtroom this week. Monica Lindstrom is a former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney. Dwane Cates, also a criminal defense attorney. Monica, how is she doing?
Well, for a while there, I thought that she was doing okay. I thought that she was getting some credibility with the jury by telling her details after details. But as soon as she got to the killing and she feigned that she has no memory whatsoever other than what we just heard, I thought, wow, she has just lost any credibility that she might have gained with this jury, because with all these details before, now all of a sudden she doesn't have any details. So they better have an expert come on to talk about that these blackouts or this lack of memory supports her abuse theory, or otherwise she's just got nothing right now. And as a prosecutor, I would be loving it.
I have a feeling they could find such an expert. Dwane, what do you think? I mean, has she done herself any service by her testimony?
Well, I think she has. You got to remember that we're trying to win. The defense is trying to win a war, just not trying to win a battle. But with regard to the memory loss, you know, everybody has agreed basically that Jodi Arias, being a 120-pound woman, and Travis being a 200-pound man, that she would have to have a tremendous amount of adrenaline coursing through her in order to drag Travis down the hall, pick him up, put him in the shower. And when you have that much adrenaline going through your body, you experience what's called a whiteout. I've experienced it myself. I used to ride bulls, and when you first start out, you know, there's so much adrenaline, you get adrenaline overload, and everything just goes white, and you don't remember a thing that happened. They're going to get an expert that's going to say that's what happened to Jodi.
Dwane, we'll put that in your intro next time. Lawyer, prosecutor, former bull rider. All right, so Monica, what about the story of the gun, though? She claims that, you know, she shot him. She doesn't remember stabbing him. Then she gets in the car, drives out into the desert, throws the gun away, washes the blood off of her hands with a bottle of water from the car. How does that all fit into this?
You know, from the prosecutor's side, I could care less what she has said, because she didn't give any details about the actual killing. She gave me no explanation. The jury didn't hear anything about really what she was thinking or why she did what she did. So I take that into just one side of my brain, and now I focus on cross. I focus on the points I want to make. Through my questions, I'm making my points. I'm reminding the jury that she stabbed him 29 times, even though she doesn't remember it. I'm reminding the jury that she slit his throat, that she had the gun. She shot him after he was already dead. So I don't care what her explanations were. She is already a proven liar. So I'm using my questions to make my points, to remind the jury, hey, she's guilty of premeditated murder. Find her guilty, and not only that, sentence her to death.
Dwane, the shooting and the stabbing, I mean, you know, she's saying that he was crouching at her. He was about to jump, and that's why she had to shoot him. But how does that fit in with the stabbing and the throat slashing here?
Well, nobody agrees when anything happened. The defense says that she shot first and stabbed later. The prosecution says that she shot him at the end, which makes absolutely no sense, is why you would shoot somebody when they're already dead. And so nobody really knows exactly what the sequence of events were, and neither does Jodi Arias. You got to remember, the state's got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she killed him, and that it was not self-defense. There were only two people in the room that night. Yeah. Only two people know what happened, and one of them's dead.
Well, and she was asked about a statement she made on television about this case. I want to play that for you and get a quick reaction.
Let me first ask you this comment: no jury would convict you. Why did you say that?
Judge, should I ask that answer?
Well, you can't convict a dead person, and I plan to be dead long before this ever even got close to trial. That was my hope.
Okay, so she's giving television interviews saying, you know, no jury would ever convict me of this case. And what's really going on in the back of her head is she's going to, you know, sometime after this interview is done, she's going to off herself. Monica, does that make any sense?
You know, that could very well be the truth, but what we seem to forget is I believe she says no jury will convict me because I am innocent. So even though her explanation might sound okay, it doesn't jive with the second part when she says because I'm innocent. And through all of her explanations, she always tried to say, oh, I cared about Travis, I cared about him, I didn't want people to think this about him. But in every explanation, she's talking about how she felt, how selfish she was, how calculating she was. She wanted to throw people off of her path, that she didn't want anybody to know she did it. So her language patterns and her vocabulary are really going against her here.
All right, let's turn our attention to another case. Yeah, Dwane, real quickly.
Well, she did explain it. She said that there were guards sitting next to her, so she had to say it was because she was innocent, because she couldn't really explain why she was doing it, or she'd ended up in a padded cell.
All right. It all sounds mighty strange to me, but we'll see what this jury decides. Let's turn our attention to another bombshell in the Oscar Pistorius murder case. A new lead investigator has just been appointed after it was revealed that Hilton Bota is facing attempted murder charges himself. It's raising serious questions about the prosecution's case against the Olympic track star known to the world as the Blade Runner. Pistorius charged with premeditated murder in the shooting death of his model girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp. What about that, Dwane? All of a sudden, I mean, this case couldn't get any weirder, but all of a sudden the prosecutor, the lead investigator, is brought up on charges of 7 counts of attempted murder?
Yeah, it's never good when you're a prosecutor and your lead investigator's charged with attempted murder. And they did the right thing. I mean, earlier today they finally took him off the case and replaced him with a different officer. But you know, that's gonna call in. I mean, he's gonna at some point gonna have to testify, and they get to cross-examine him about having these charges against him. And I mean, it's got to hurt their case tremendously. I mean, I believe that they're going to have trouble with first-degree murder anyway, but this is just going to make it worse.
Monica, your quick thoughts?
Yeah, as a prosecutor, I'm looking at this thinking, oh my God, are you kidding me? So I want to stop the bleeding. I'm probably going to give an offer to something less, because when your lead investigator has challenges like this, he loses all credibility. As a defense attorney, I'm like, woohoo, I've got all kinds of stuff that I can go after the state with now, and I can get my client a better offer because of this lead investigator and because he was involved in the sloppy police work.
Let's see what kind of justice comes out of both of these cases with, unfortunately, you know, dead victims at the center of them. Monica, Dwane, thank you both.